Hey 101 students, welcome to the grammar lesson on numbers and numerals and designators. Just for everyone's information to begin with, a number is a value and a numeral is a written number. Several rules for writing numbers. The first one is if it's under 100, you're going to use a word form. So 7, 17, 77, where a hyphenated word counts as one word, is all going to be spelled out in word form. If it's over 100, you're going to use the numeral form. I know many of you probably did learn it as the under 10 rule that you're going to write out, but it's been changed now to under 100. If you have an approximate amount of money, $40 million for example, that is going to be word form. If you have an exact number, however, it's going to be numeral form. 1,716,432,018 is an exact amount, so we're going to use the numeral form. If you have a number at the beginning of a sentence, you're going to write it out in word form because then you can capitalize the first letter. There's no way for me to capitalize a 2. So if I have it in the middle of the sentence, for example, in the year 2001, then I can go ahead and keep it as the numeral form. But if it's at the beginning, 2001 signaled the end of an era, then you have to put it in word form. If the number has specific meaning besides just a value, you're going to use the numeral form. So for example, Act 1, it's a specific act. Score was tied 5-5, that's a specific thing. Or 62%, a specific value. Those are all going to be in numeral form. Similarly, if you are going to use numeral form, it's like a symbol. And so when you use symbols, you're going to use symbols. So 3:30 p.m. or if you write out in word form, 3:30 in the afternoon. You wouldn't write 3:30 p.m. or 3:30 in numeral form in the afternoon. You have to keep symbols with symbols and words with words. If you have a rare occasion where you have two numbers that bump up against each other, you're going to usually use the first number in numeral form first and then spell out the second number. So 14 2-year-olds, that way it doesn't look like 142 to a reader. But if you have it at the beginning of the sentence, again, you're going to write it on word form so you can capitalize the F. Now, the designators BC and AD have a Christian connotation. Many of you probably already know that BC stands for before Christ. Many people think that AD stands for after death, but it doesn't. It stands for Anno Domini, which is a Latin phrase, and very loosely translated it means in the year of our Lord. Now, many people do still use these designators. And if you look at it this way, that the year 0 starts here. Everything before the year 0 is before Christ. So 167 BC is actually 167 years plus 1,957 years before 1957. If, however, you are going to be talking about the year that's about 50 years ago, you're going to use AD 1957, and the AD goes in front of the year. But because of the Christian connotation, and because the world has become more global, and there are companies in Europe dealing with companies in the Middle East, we recognize that there's probably an inappropriate use of the Christian context. So what people have begun doing in international companies is using the term Common Era. And so 167 BCE stands for 167 before Common Era, and 1957 stands for Common Era 1957, 50 years ago or so. The 0 stays at the same spot, and that's numbers and designators. Be sure to try the exercises below.